So in 2018, IHOP pulled off a crazy and bold move by rebranding itself as, do you remember? IHOP, International House of Burgers. When this happened, I was like, are they seriously going to replace all of those signs? Just the signs alone are going to be so expensive. That's the type of stuff that goes through my head, guys. So the big question though that you're probably wondering, maybe you didn't even know that IHOP was a franchise and that you could own one. Now that you do know, you think, well, how much does it cost to open? How much money are the franchisees making? Is this a good opportunity for me? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. If you're new here, my name is Tarek Johnson. I am the CEO and founder of Franchise Empire, where we have helped hundreds of people just like you find, vet, and launch proven money-making franchises. So first, we're going to talk about IHOP. We'll talk a little bit about their history, some interesting things that you may or may not know. Then we'll dive into the startup cost, the fees, the earnings, what sort of sales that these locations are producing, and we'll do a little bit of fun trivia if you're down for that. IHOP, they were founded in 1958 in California by the brothers Al and Jerry Lapin, along with some investors, Al and Trudy Callis. How weird is that there were two Al's? That's so odd. It was originally named the International House of Pancakes, and they began expanding through franchises in 1960. They introduced the acronym IHOP in marketing campaigns in 1973. So not until 13 years later did they come up with IHOP. That's so interesting to me. 13 years in business until they came up with the name and the acronym that everyone knows them by. I think that's so interesting of like, they were just doing their thing for 13 years, guys. And some of you guys may be like, what's IHOP? I remember when I was a kid, that was the place where we would go. If we were going to have like a Sunday breakfast or on the weekend, and it was like a special outing, we would go to IHOP. Fancy dinner was Red Lobster. Ladies and gentlemen, I think there's a lot of us that probably grew up that way. My goodness, have times changed. All right, so nearly 100% of IHOP's restaurants are actually independently franchise operated. I actually didn't know this. I didn't know this until really looking at the information for this video. I didn't realize that IHOP was primarily owned by franchisees. Here's one interesting stat that you may not know. They serve over, can you guess how many pancakes that they serve annually? 100 million, 200 million, more, 300 million, more, 700 million pancakes annually that they serve. That is a lot of pancakes. All right, so how many locations do they have open? They have over 1,800 operating restaurants in over 17 countries. That's a lot. And before IHOP went global, it opened one international location that started all. Can you guess the country? That's today's trivia. If you watch any of these videos, you know that we have a trivia in all of them. So let me know in the comments below, what was the first international location that they opened? And hey, what do you think? Who would you pick? You pick IHOP or First Watch? I know First Watch is not even close to as popular as IHOP or having, as much of a reputation, but who do you pick? Let me know in the comments. IHOP or First Watch? I can tell you all day I'm going First Watch. The quality of food is just way better. They're way more innovative. The decor and the vibe is better. So yeah, I'm going First Watch all day, ladies and gentlemen. So startup costs. Let's talk about how much would it cost you to open if you wanted to open an IHOP. Well, the initial investment is between $639,000 to $2.8 million. The initial franchise fee, just 20 grand, guys, 20 grand. That's it for initial franchise fee. Most initial franchise fees, the average I would say is like 40 to 50. So that's pretty cheap. The royalty is 4.5% of gross sales, and the National Advertising Fund 3.5% of gross sales. There also is a location fee that is non-refundable. I don't know what that is, but it's there. So if you go to buy an IHOP, don't be like, hey, Tarek sent us and he said the franchise fee was only 20 grand. You guys are now charge me a location fee. All right, you're gonna have to do your own homework, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so if you found this video helpful so far, if you like hearing the numbers in terms of locations, startup costs, sales, which we're about to get into, then we have created something called the 5 low-cost franchises, right? You're probably thinking $700,000 to get one of these bad boys open to $2.8 million. I don't have that much money. money. I don't want to put that much money investing in an IHOP. Well, we have determined there are 5 low-cost franchises that the startup costs are all about $250,000 or so and below to get up and open and have sales documented and proven in their franchise disclosure documents of $1 million or more. So I have a whole PDF breakdown of those 5 franchises, and there's even some accompanying videos if you want to watch those. Click the link down below so you can go grab it for free. It's my gift to you. Thank you for watching. All right, so let's talk about their sales and how much money that these franchise locations are making. So according to their 2025 franchise disclosure document, the average sales for the 12-month period ending December 29th, 2024, which is a very odd and specific day. Why not December 31st? I don't know, but that's what they put. So for freestanding locations, right? Just, in a parking lot, I think you understand what freestanding means, right? I'm not going to describe it. The average is $2,027,000 in sales. Inline locations, meaning it's in a shopping center inline directly next to other locations, $1.9 million. And then Endcaps, you know what an end cap is, right? $2 million in sales. So, if I'm looking at these numbers, the average sales aren't much different, and I can assure you the freestanding units cost a hell of a lot more to get up and open than the inline or end cap. So I'd be wanting to go inline or end cap. That's just me. According to all of their different franchise locations, no matter the type, they're showing about 1,275 locations that they disclose in their disclosure document with an average sales of just over $2 million. All right, so in terms of the trivia, we said, hey, where was the first international location that they opened in? If you guessed China, you were wrong because it's Canada. Got you on that one, didn't I? All right, so if you like this style of video, if you like learning about the startup costs and how many locations they have open and the sales of these different locations, you can click on this playlist where we break down all of the franchises that are listed on the Entrepreneurs Franchise 500 list. So go check it out. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and we'll see you on the next one.